puppies. Puppies. Hey, puppies. Hey, my puppies. Hey, my puppies. Yeah, that's my puppies. That's my puppies. Hey, puppies. Hey, puppies. Hey, puppies. Yeah, puppies. Yeah, puppies. Top of the morning, big dog, and the rest of the day. And the rest of the day. Yes, sir. Good morning. Y'all know it is currently 07:53 Central Standard Time. The show does not start until exactly 8 a.m. This gives y'all a chance to kind of just kick it with me before the show. As you can see, we got down some fresh bedding in here. The puppies are being exposed to a goat milk and slightly tough foods. We're talking about a soft food combo. And they're grown up fine. They got some teeth in their mouth, as you can see when they yawn. Down front, you have two females, the little red nose and the little one with the black mask. Those are females. To the far right is the big male. That one right there with the splash on his face, that is a male. And then in the back over there, you can't see her with the white head. She's a female as well. Yes, sir. We are gonna start our show at 0800 this morning, but I just wanted to kick it with y'all. And I like to show the puppies, each morning on the lives because I don't really put a lot of them in the video. I mean, to be honest with you, if I didn't need to replenish my stock, I wouldn't even be talking about puppies right now. I don't really care for puppies. I actually prefer dogs that are ready to train, but I'm happy with them. Hey, puppies. Hey, puppies. They're responsive, though. I like that. Yes, sir. And then I'm moving them around from enclosure to enclosure. They get rotated from enclosure to enclosure. So while they're in this one, I'll clean out the other one, and then vice versa. They're also, I bring their mom in twice a day now to feed them. But we are heavily into the weaning process because what I don't want is to rehome a puppy that was not properly weaned, and then the owner is dealing with issues that I should have corrected as a breeder. We're gonna also talk about those terms in today's live about the differences and the meanings of those words. And I'm not gonna say etymology meaning, like the original meaning of the word when it was first used in language, but I mean like what's currently accepted as the definition and how it is used in regards to the American Pit Bull Terrier. But yeah, I had every intention of worming them on camera, but my little gimbal wasn't working as well. Absolutely. Salute Soul Power, aka Gained Up Kennels. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Solid brother right there. If y'all are not following his channel and you're on my channel, I think you're doing yourself a disservice because our content complements one another. Our content is complementary. So if you're getting one without the other one, that's like taking protein without milk. You can still take it with water, but the protein hits harder with milk. It has certain enzymes that are needed to break down and certain BCAAs that move better with that milk and that nutrients from milk. And that's the kind of community we're trying to build, is a community that is complementary to one another. Each channel simply elaborates upon or gives a different perspective to topics that we're covering in the dog community. Yeah, they are fed and they are happy. We got 4 minutes to the hour. 4 minutes to the hour, and we just kicking it. I wanted to leave this video on here for y'all to see them. If you're watching this in your car or you're not able to actually watch the live, I will give you some commentary as well. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. Y'all got to check out Mondays campfire talk with my brother Soul Power and the good brother Ray Imperial as well. I'm telling you, man, like you don't realize how much value you get from conversing and listening to other people's conversations until it happens to you. Man, the power of this social media, when done appropriately, removes all barriers. It removes all barriers, man. And like that live was enlightening to me. I learned things about myself, and I learned things about the direction I want to go in with my camp and my program. Man, it was my whole camp. When we watch shows, we watch them together. So you can best believe if I'm watching your channel, my camp is watching your channel. If I'm watching a live, my camp is watching your live, and we discuss it because we're taking the feedback, we're taking information that is being given to us and to others, and using it to not only improve our program, but improve our quality of life and the quality of life of those around us. It's really important to me that we do that because comparison is the enemy of progress, but competition is healthy for progress. And I want to compete in healthy ways, but I don't want to compare myself to anybody else because I'm only me and I can only be the best version of myself. Say that again for those of y'all in the back. I do want to compete, but I do not want to compare. Comparison is the enemy of progress. And that may sound a little contradictory, being that I do the annual top dog channels, but to me that's competition. It's competition to give the best content, because what that does is it drives us all to put out the best content we possibly can and ensure that the community is being blessed with knowledge that it took us years to accomplish. Now, my logic on that is why can you give out that kind of information? Well, the reason why you can give out that kind of information is that most people are entirely too lazy to actually action all the information that's been given to them. So you can still outwork them. Kobe Bryant mentality, relentless Mamba. That Mamba mentality is what I'm talking about. It is now currently 07:59. As y'all can see, my puppies are happy, fat, and sleep. And I'm about to go ahead and get my area set up so we can move on with the show. I'm about a week away from having my 4K camera set up for y'all so that the show is being done in a higher quality imagery. And I'll be using my Audio Technica studio mic in the future. But right now, your boy Dre is still learning how to use technology. So y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Let me get my charger set up because these phones like to try to die on you in the middle of your lives. And of course, I don't have a teleprompter yet because we're keeping it gangster. Nah, I don't have a teleprompter yet because I didn't think I would need one. But I do want to get in here and get my topics to be covered today. What's good, big dog? What's good, big dog? My other phone is buffering right now, but I need it to open up so I can actually give y'all the topics for today. It is Wednesday morning, March the 22nd, and this is your Wednesday morning coffee talk. I'm the host of the Wednesday morning coffee talk, Andre Williams at Samurai Kennel. And for today's coffee talk, we have some important topics to cover. I will be covering those topics here with you shortly. So the first thing I want to do is I want to give out my flowers at this 8 o'clock coffee talk time. Shout out to Soul Power Kennels, aka Gamed Up Dogs. A very, very solid brother who has given me a lot of influence and given me a lot of insight into things that could be better. He's constantly and perpetually in the game for the betterment of the people and the game dogs. He runs a really solid program, and I really appreciate anything he brings to the game. I want to give a shout out to Asiatic Brother. Even though we don't talk maybe as much as I would like to, the brother's a solid brother. He always has things that enhance or add value to the conversation. And I really want to say thank you to him. Shout out to Apache Kennels. Apache Kennels has been showing nothing but love. They've been really consistent. And I just want to say thank you to my friend because he literally walked me through the process of setting up my keep. To Walter Bryant, big bro, thank you so much. To Aaron McFarland, thank you so much. To Melvin Harper, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I don't know why you don't have your own YouTube channel yet, bro. Like, but when this brother starts his YouTube channel, you gotta need to go follow him, man. Seriously. The brother drops diamonds. To Wes, I appreciate you, Wes. Keep giving those phone calls. Keep calling, keep hollering at your boy. I really do appreciate that. To the big bro, Ray Imperial, thank you for your content. I'll be reaching out to you soon. I have a project idea for you. To Rhodes Kennels, Behemoth Bloodline, shout out, salute. Arrowhead Kennels, Dickie Foster, and to all those of y'all that may or may not be watching this right now, salute to everybody in the game. All right, y'all. Y'all know I like to run a structured show, so we're going to get into it. Today's show is going to go over terms to be covered. To truly express yourself, you have to know what you're saying and how it is being received. I'm not one to stop the show, so I will ask for input and feedback on if I'm given proper or what's accepted as equitable and proper information for the game dogs. Now, one of the things that I was taught as a military training instructor is that when you communicate, there's two jobs in any communication. The first job in communication is for the sender, the person sending the message, to send a clear message that is easy to understand and meets the intent of the audience that you're trying to reach. Then there's the receiver. The receiver of the information's job is to take in the information, dissect it, and make a decision based upon the message that is being sent out. So we're going to work on our sending and receiving today. The first word that I want to clarify is the word professional. After doing my research, and this is all on Google, by the way, like all this research is straight off of Google. I figured it was a good common baseline for us to go off of. Merriam-Webster would be great, but it's Google is faster. The first word I want to cover is the word professional. When I Googled it, professional was listed as such. A profession is a person who performs an act or service for the majority of their individual income. I.e., I have bred dogs, I have trained dogs, and I do a lot of different things, but I would not be considered a professional by any means because my primary source of income is a military or government paycheck. Point blank, period. Just calling the baby how I see it. As much as I would like to call myself a professional based upon the definition of the word, I'm not. What I would say is that most of the people who are professionals in this, we call them peddlers. But to sustain your income, you would have to do pretty much all training, all breeding, all dog stuff all the time. And the majority of the money I spend on my dogs is either from puppy sales or I go to my job, either DoorDash or my military job, and spend that money on my dogs. So I would say no, absolutely not. Am I a professional breeder? Do I have a love for the dog and am I a fancier? Absolutely, absolutely. Am I a fan of the breed? Yes, but professional, no. I may have professional qualities because I've been trained to talk to people and articulate my message in a way that's politically correct and appropriate, but no. All right. The next word I want to cover is a breeder. What is a breeder? All right. So a lot of people think you put two dogs together and you're a breeder. But what is a breeder really? A breeder is a person who isolates specific genes and traits through the breeding of purebred animals such as horses, dogs, cats, etc. So basically what a breeder is somebody who can pinpoint things and is damn near a scientist, all right? A breeder might pinpoint color or a look or a trait. That's what a breeder is. So if you're just buying two animals because of the bloodline and breeding them because of a pretty pedigree,
then I wouldn't call myself a breeder. You would just be a pet owner that had a litter. All right. Calling yourself a breeder takes time, it takes consistency, and typically a breeder is ordained or backed by a club or agency. All right, that's just what it is. If you don't like it, drop it in the comments. But I'm going to give y'all this information, and I want you to take this information and really, hey, what's going on, big dog? Yeah, I gave you a shout out earlier, man. Salute. All right. So we talked about professionals and we talked about what a breeder is, the professional terms of those at the high level. Now we're going to talk about a trainer. A trainer is an individual who teaches or coaches people or animals through a specific task or a group of tasks. Most of us that are dog fanciers fall into this category. So when you're labeling yourself and you're talking about, I'm a professional dog trainer, I'm a professional dog breeder, you're actually a professional trainer. There is no criteria for a trainer other than the fact that you're training an activity, or an action to a person or animal. All right. So most of us fall in the category of trainers, and then our skill level is dependent upon our experience and our wisdom, what we've been exposed to and what our animals have been exposed to. The next word we're going to talk about is going to be an animal fancy or animal fancier. Most of us are also animal fanciers or enthusiasts. We all have a genuine love for the breed, but we're not ordained in any aspect of being a professional, such as a professional breeder or just a professional in the dog game. So the reason why I'm doing this episode and talking about these things is because when we communicate and you say certain words, depending on what level of individual you're talking to, we're communicating completely different messages. So when I send out a message, I want to ensure that at least the people who deal with me understand what I mean when I say those words. Now, this is going to get a little bit more intense. We get into words like gameness and what is gameness. But just bear with me. All right? So animal fancier, just an animal enthusiast, a fan of the breed. You can own a dog. You can not own a dog. You can be a person who just watches the channels. That's a fancier and enthusiast. You're simply somebody who supports it, and you have nothing but positive vibes for it. And those are people I really like too. You know what I'm saying? Along with the trainers, because they're very straightforward. This next word is probably going to set off the chat and probably set off a lot of people when they hear this. The term Dogman. All right. I personally believe if you are my age or younger, you're probably not a dog man. Unless you're a legacy. Unless you're a legacy and your parents were in the game, like, you're probably not a dog man, and I'll tell you why. A dog man is not one individual trait. When I think of a dog man, if I had to put a stamp on what a dog man is, and I'm not a fan of this person by any means. I just want to give you a target to shoot at if you want to be a dog man. Earl Tudor is somebody I would consider a dog man. Earl Tudor boxed his own dogs, did his own keeps, worked his own dogs, bred his own stuff. He didn't always keep up with his paperwork because he put together dogs that he liked together on his yard. Half the times the breeders were wrong, but it was because he was breeding for performance and keeping other people out of the mix. He knew animal husbandry, and he could take a dog from cradle to grave to include the box. That's a dog man. Nutrition, everything in one yard, that's a dog man. Nowadays, we don't even have the ability to experience those things because we're not exposed to it consistently to be dog man. So if you're my age or younger, and I'll be 33 in 2 weeks. If you're my age or younger, I don't believe I look at it like this, all right? I look at it like this. The mafia and real gangsters, Bumpy Johnson, Frank Lucas and them, that level of expertise could only happen in that era. Like, I've seen the movie, and I'm pretty sure y'all seen the movie Cocaine Cowboys, right? That level of expertise, knowledge, and what they were able to do fit the era. Even the way we sell, like, illegal substances today has changed. Like, people sell illegal substances now on Snapchat. When I was a kid, it was the Nextel chirp phones, and you could trap for real. You can't do that no more. That time is over. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're holding on to things. Like, if you walked up to me and said, I'm a cocaine cowboy, I would laugh in your face because there's no way. One, you talk too much. But two, like, you could not do on the scale that they were doing back then. You could, if you have a 100-dog yard now, you're going to jail just because. Absolutely. Hey, and if you want to be stamped as a dog man, don't let my message stop you. But I'll never be a dog man. That's why I've coined, or I've stuck to the term of I'm a neo dog man. The new, like neo, like it's new. I'm not what they were. I appreciate what they were and I appreciate what they did, but I'm moving into something different because those dog men would laugh at some of the stuff I do, and I respect it because like the dog man that brought me in the game does not respect what I do with these dogs. And I still got mad love for him. He's a family member. He's blood family, and he is real family. Like I ordained him family because of what he does. And he doesn't believe in this protection work stuff I do at all. That's a real dog man. I do stuff that is completely different and completely unorthodox, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's my program. And the people who rock with me in my program, they rock with me because they genuinely have an affinity for what I'm doing, and I respect them for it highly. Hey, so I see there's 11 of y'all in the chat. Can we please get them likes up? I really appreciate that. And for those of y'all who just joined, what we've covered so far is the definition of what a professional is, what a breeder is, what a trainer is, what an animal fancier is, and right now we're working on Dogman. Now, a dogman does all of these things, and a dogman also is somebody who can qualify or quantify what's going on. I'll give you an example. Okay, Fat Bill, I would consider a dogman because Rastaman, Bop, everybody, like you know what I'm saying, like Schoolboy, these guys I consider dogmen because if I'm having a dog show, I want them judging my dog. I want them to tell me if they think my dog would have been good in their era. That's what I consider a dog man. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? They're historians at this point. But that's what I consider a dog man. And then they would be able to identify because they've seen through experience, wisdom, and exposure the next word I'm about to cover. The next word we're going to cover is hard mouth. Hard mouth. What does that actually mean? Some people think that hard mouth is a dog that bites hard. And then I've heard PBK9 talk about it. I've heard Going Hard talk about it. Just because a dog cuts up another dog isn't biting hard. That's not always the case. But I'll tell you this, and from my perspective, what a hard mouth dog is a dog that can apply a seriously high level of pressure when it bites down. Another thing that I look for when I listen for hard mouth dogs is when they're biting and they miss, do you hear like that popping noise, that sound of their jaws coming together with snap? That's what I consider a hard biting dog. Now, I'll give you one of the credentials that I think makes me more rightful or more knowledgeable about talking about hard biting dogs is the fact that I do bite work. And not only have I been bit by American Pit Bull Terriers, but I've been bitten by other breeds to include Rottweilers, Dobermans, German Shepherds, Malinois, Pressas, Cane Corsos. And because of those bites and because of those things I've been exposed to, I truly believe I understand what a hard biting dog is. I truly believe that. That's something that I think that I excel at or I have a higher IQ about because I have more socialization in that aspect. Hard mouth is something I like because when I'm being bit, hey, shout out, hey, salute. Harry Hayes, salute to everybody from the NCSC. Y'all know I represent the Carolinas hard, man. Represent the Carolinas hard. So back to hard mouth, y'all. For hard mouth, because I've been bit by these dogs, and mind you, all dogs won't bite a person the same way they bite an animal or a toy. That's 100% accurate. But with somebody who knows how to stimulate them into a drive to bite, I'm telling you right now that for me, one of the things that made me addicted to bite work was when I was bit by a Pressa and I could feel the teeth through the bite suit. That is a hard mouth dog. And it's not all Pressas do that. Not all Rottweilers do it. Not all Malinois do it. Some of them through the bite suit, it doesn't even hurt. Like I just feel like somebody grabbed my arm. All right, that's cool. If I didn't have that suit on, that dog would still cause lacerations and harm to me and cuts because that dog is biting. That dog is biting with sharp teeth, right? But what I look for and what I'm breeding for is a dog that even with padding on, even with a protective suit, that dog, I can feel like, I'm like, man, if this suit wasn't here, my arm would be coming off. That is a hard mouth dog. And I feel like you can check, well, historically speaking, you could check that, seeing how much pain it inflicts to another animal, but you also have to calculate in that animal's pain tolerance. Whereas a person, I am the baseline. And I know that this hurt more than this. I know I'll get bit by that Rottweiler twice before I get bit by that Pressa once. I know that. So that's what hard mouth is to me, and that's my definition of hard mouth. So when you're talking to me about hard mouth, understand that's the direction I'm coming from of what I've actually personally felt. You can create your own definition. I just want to give y'all a baseline for when we communicate so we can communicate effectively. The next thing we're going to cover is game. So I know we're about to fight it out. And y'all go ahead and drop in the comments what y'all think gameness is, because I'm going to give you the definition. And if you don't like it, we can discuss it. Gameness is the will to go on when all hope is lost. To be truly game, a dog must have been put into a position to lose its life, or to be in a life-threatening position and still stand affronted. Man, that's tough, because like we don't participate in any illegal activities with these dogs or dog fighting. We will not violate the Animal Cruelty Act of 1976 before I move on with gameness. But let's talk about it. Game. I talked to a seriously passionate brother, Elevated Kennels, respect, salute, and we talked about gameness. And a lot of real dog men, or a lot of real dog people, fanciers, whatever you want to call them, do not like to even bring up that word, because it's so convoluted. But we're going to talk about it today. Gameness. Gameness is not only tested in combat. However, based upon Mr. Richard Stratton's books, that is the most efficient way to test it. Is 2 conditioned animals in the box is the most efficient way to test gameness. And I don't disagree with this at all. However, we know this to be illegal now, and this is only speaking for historical purposes. So with that being said, we're going to talk about what I view or what I look for in modern game dogs, because my channel is the modern game dog channel. And if you're here, then I at least hope that you understand this, where we're moving towards, is a modernity of the game dog. All right? With the modern game dog, there are about 4 or 5 ways to really check and see if they have the drive to be game. This is not to be confused with OG gameness. And to say that our dogs are just as game as them, the only way to check that would be to have checked them in the same manner. It's not a fair assessment to check one dog this way and one dog that way. It's not fair. But what we can say is the drive to be game can still be identified. The first way, I would say, is through the slap meal race. The dog that runs hot first would probably, unless it had better abilities, would probably quit. However, you'd never know that without boxing them or pitting them against each other. 2, weight pulls. The stronger dog, the more dominant dog, would probably have the advantage in the box. We don't know that, but we can see by their ability to strive and pull greater and greater weights, we can test the odds. It's just like stacking them up against, a 1-time winner versus a 2-time winner going on to the championship, so on and so forth. You increase the odds, you increase the weight load, you increase the workload. 3, through bite work. Bite training really stresses a dog out. That dog must be able to attack an opponent and take it down, a much larger opponent. 4, hog hunting. And I would say hog hunting is probably the most efficient way to check the gameness of an animal pitted in combat against another animal in a legal manner. It is extremely dangerous, and the dog will be extremely hard tested in the ability to catch and hold on an animal that is much larger, that is thrashing around and could cause life-altering or life-ending injury. And the 5th way is through obedience. A true game dog will have incredible focus. The focus of a true game dog is so great that obedience almost comes natural once you are bonded with the animal. Now, keep in mind that the American Pit Bull Terrier has the ability to be completely destructive, and I've had some dogs that are completely destructive, and that's the exception to the rule. But a well-bred and balanced American Pit Bull Terrier can do anything you want it to do. So much so that the last top dog for years 2019 and 2020 was an American Pit Bull Terrier, bred out of Modline Kennels, and was actually on national television as the top obedience dog or agility dog in the world for 2 years running. All right. So for those of y'all who tell me like, Dre, you crazy, you're crazy. There's proof. And I deal in facts, logic, and statistics. That's what I deal in and what I work with. All right, cool, y'all. So I'm gonna leave gameness alone, but if y'all got feedback on gameness, please, please, please drop it in the comments. Also, if you know somebody who has a really strong opinion on it, have them make a video on it because I would love to hear their take on it. My words and my thoughts are not the end game. My words and my thoughts are simply my thoughts, so that when you communicate with me, you can understand exactly where I'm coming from and my perspective on these things. Next, we're gonna talk about dead game. Woo! Dead game. Let's be clear. I'm gonna say this one time and one time only. Dead game does not live. If the animal is dead game and it lived, it's not dead game. It's deep game. A dead game animal died without quitting. That's all that means. So this has been covered by every single channel I've ever followed. I'm not gonna go any further into that. Dead game does not live. You can't breed a dead game animal, period. Now let's talk about a game loser. All right. So for me, as a breed fancier who is a pet owner and a kennel operator, a certified kennel operator, let's talk about a game loser. For me, in my perspective, in my opinion, a game loser is the closest to dead game you can get and still breed to it. My logic on a game loser is this. A game loser is a dog that was conditioned or not conditioned and matched in an official match or a match that would count towards a title. The dog scratched every time it was supposed to scratch, but the dog simply did not have the ability and was outclassed by the other animal and would have died if left to its own vices. It would have continued to scratch until it became a dead game animal. The owner of this animal had the wherewithal to see that their animal was outclassed and removed it from that situation, threw in the towel for the dog. The dog never quit. That is a game loser. That dog, to me, we know it was the bottom dog. It displayed all the characteristics of gameness, and that dog is the dog that I personally would prefer to breed to. There are dogs that they talk about in history that were aces that ended matches in 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Those dogs, honestly, had great ability, and I would love to have that in there, and people flocked to those because they were winners, right? However, a dog with that much ability that never saw the bottom may not have been game. You will never know because the dog was never put into a position to be threatened. Case in point, you got a kid. Your kid was held back in school for 2 years. He's larger than all the other kids in his class. And your kid's really athletic. So he's older, more experienced, and stronger than the other kids. He gets into a boxing league. He's beating the piss out of these kids in his boxing league based upon grade level. Okay? Now, he gets to high school and he meets people who are just like him on the same level. They have the same skill level, same physical ability as him, and he get knocked around now. Now he don't want to box no more. All right? That's how I look at a dog that's an ace like that. Like, examples I would say would be like Tornado and Queen of Hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say the only two dogs really that I would want to see go against each other in a situation like that would be those two. Like, who else is in there? Y'all might know some names that I don't know, but like when I think of females right off top, who else is in their class? I think of Jeep and Chinaman, both of them 4-time, you know what I'm saying? Both of them in that same like little like thing. They even both had a son that was kind of a great producer. Like, you know, Jeep had Tab and Chinaman had Frisco. So like they both had something to carry on their name. Why them two ain't never run up against each other? I heard Jeep was Duck and Jocko too, you know, but they were very, very common kin and would have gotten their grand championship off of one another. You know, flop. Yep. But yeah, man. These are things that I wanted to share, man, and keep it G with y'all, man. All right, so game loser. Game loser, favorite thing. That's what if I had to breed to somebody right now, historically speaking, a game loser, that term would be I hear she was a great dog. Yep. Facts. And thank you for being active. All of y'all who in the chat, man, get active, man. Like, talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk your shit. Like, I'm not easily offended, and I'm reflective. So if you tell me something I don't agree with at first, I'm gonna research it and think on it. And if what you're saying is valid and logical, I'm probably gonna change my way of thinking because I want to be the best version of myself, and I can't do that only trapped in my own vices. All right. So far, y'all, if you're just joining the show, we're at the 35-minute mark. We getting busy with it. So far, we've covered what a professional is, what a breeder is, what a trainer is, what an animal fancier is, what a dogman is, what a hard mouth is, gameness, dead game, and a game loser. Now we got to talk about what a real loser is, or what we consider a real loser, and that's what is a cur. The term cur means different things for different people. But I'll tell you this. To me, the definition of a cur is a dog who had the optimal conditions to continue and did not continue. Case in point, you give your dog a belly full of water, or your dog is on the chain in the yard and gets into a yard accident and overheats and will not continue to go into combat with another dog on your yard because they had a chain accident. That's not a cur to me. Some people it is, but that's not like that dog did not have optimal conditions. That dog was literally running hot because it had a stomach full and was gonna throw up eventually, and maybe even like gag itself because of the conditions that it was in. That's not a cur. A cur to me is a dog that, and it's historically speaking, but I need to use historical purposes to define what I view as a cur. Historically speaking, a dog that was either rolled or being schooled that quit before the perceived need to quit, that's a cur. Okay? For example, you're doing a 5-minute roll and that dog 1 minute in comes out of hold and darts or does not try to re-engage its opponent, that's a cur to me. All right? And then when you're talking about in the box or in a sanctioned match, a cur is an animal that failed to make the count, whether it be a 10-second or 30-second count, and to scratch into the other animal. Even if it scratches without vigor, it still needs to go across and make contact, and take hold, right? So that is a cur. Appreciate the recognition. We're going to make it happen all the way around. Subscribing total package. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's a cur to me. A rank cur is an animal who had optimal conditions. As an example, this dog is on top, or this dog was winning the match and failed to scratch. Now, I had a conversation with a brother about this yesterday. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but I talked to one of my brothers about this. He knows who he is. Respect to you, and I'll tell you one of the things that could have affected this, and it brought up. We were talking about Eli dogs, right? And I told him my favorite bloodline was Frisco. And through this conversation, I had a realization of what's going on with the Frisco dogs, or what was wrong with the Frisco dogs. Where I'm from in the Carolinas, a lot of times we go OTC and we go what's called country style matches, right? And this is historically speaking, this is back in the day. This can neither be confirmed nor denied. But back in the day, we would do a lot of country style matches in the Carolinas, which means that a dog with a high level of ability. All right, let me explain what a country style match is if you don't already know. A country style match is 2 dogs in, they scratch one time, and there are no breaks, no out of holes. Either one dog curs or one dog is killed. So this style of matching benefits barnstorming, hard mouth dogs that are finishers that kill quickly. We're talking about short work animals. This style of matching benefits them. Then you look at the UKC rules and George Armitage's laws of dogfighting, and moving into even the Cajun rules and having to scratch back and forward or call turns and go back to your corners benefits a dog that is just strictly game. All right. So country rules benefit a mouth dog. Cajun and UKC rules would benefit a game dog simply because of the mindset. For a hard mouth dog, he puts his mouth on something, and when it basically like a toy, he treats it like a toy. That drive is coming there. It's a really high prey drive for a toy. A dog that is using a toy, he'll destroy the toy. When the toy is destroyed, I'm done with the toy. That's the mindset of typically of a hard-mouthed dog. Whereas a game dog will sit there and just keep tearing it, or not a game dog, they're all game, but a dog that is maybe lighter in the mouth, but more just game in general, like that dumb gameness, would sit there and just tear that toy up, and you come home and there'd be like stuffing everywhere. Both dogs do their work accordingly, but those rules would benefit each style of dog differently. So we talked about the rank cur and how in this conversation I was having with my brother, my good brother, we talked about a rank cur, and I was like, man, I never thought about that, but the Cajun rules or the scratch, multiple scratches benefit the red boy Jocko or red boy lines or dogs that were considered deep game, heavy-winded dogs. Whereas those same dogs in a country style match where they didn't get a chance, they were just dropped in there and they just go benefit the Eli dogs or the barnstormers, the finishers. So thinking about that, I was like, wow, for bite work, all the lines that I'm gravitating towards for bite work are more Eli or heavy mouth dogs. All right. Now let's talk about a winner. A winner is simply that. It is an animal that was put into either a contracted or OTC match, or an animal that just won country style rules in a roll that came out on top. It was successful. Whether it scratched consistently and never failed to scratch, whether it killed, or whether the other animal was forfeited the match and was picked up. I have types of matches in the description, but we've already covered that. So I'm not going to go back into types of matches. We've covered a loser already too, and so we'll move into a roll. So crazy enough, I was watching Going Hard Kennels last week. I want to say this was their last week, Tuesday. Last week, their Tuesday talk last week, and they were talking about a roll dog, and I was like, man, like they really broke it down. If you haven't seen it, go back and check out their video, because they talk about what a roll dog is and what a box dog is, and I never really thought about it like that. I've always known the term. Basically, a roll is when you let two of them kind of go at it. Sometimes you let one of them on the chain go at it. Depends on what you need. You don't want to break their teeth out and stuff, but like that's a roll. They're just rolling out. They just get a little spar in. All right, a roll is a spar. Okay. And they were saying that some dogs were just good for a roll. And I would assume, given this information, I'm making an inference that a roll dog is a dog typically lighter in the mouth. They're not going to cause a lot of serious harm, but they will get it serious enough that the dog can get some experience. All right. So a roll is just that, a spar or an ability for two dogs to be rolled intentionally, not a yard accident. Some people would consider a yard accident a roll, and it has the same premise, but not the same focus. A yard accident happens accidentally. A roll is intended. Therefore, you need a dog that is started or turned on to create a roll. All right. So far, y'all, we've covered a lot of terms, man. We've covered professional, breeder, trainer, animal fancier, dogman, hardmouth, game, dead game, game loser, cur, rank cur, winner, types of matches, loser, and roll. So we're going to talk about OTC, because I personally don't consider OTC a match, but I would say that OTC is probably one of the most underrated things that people do. All right, so OTC, first of all, let me explain to y'all what that means. OTC is off the chain. Now, off the chain can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Some people naturally exercise their dogs enough that their dogs will be considered conditioned by other people's standards, or vice versa. Some people's dogs never come off the chain, and they're considered pet weight or pet animals. But an off the chain contest or off the chain is simply that. You take a dog from its normal conditions, or off the chain, or even a conditioned dog that wasn't intended for a match, and you run it. That it does not always have a referee present. A lot of times it's just you and your second, or just you and a partner, and y'all just doing it until it's done. Somebody's animal's gonna be curved out after that, right? OTC. Talk about chain weight. Your chain weight is the basic weight you keep your animal at, whether it be summer or winter, when it is not being conditioned for a competition, i.e. competition nowadays would be confirmation show, a weight pull, whatever it is you do. Chain weight is your dog's resting weight. It's just like y'all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have your your regular weight, and then like for me, every summer I try to get my 6-pack in there. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So I will I'll slim down a little bit for the summertime. Right? So that's chain weight. Morning, top of the morning. That's my good friend at Apache Kennels right there. Y'all give him a shout out. He has agreed to let us do an interview with him, and we're gonna bring y'all that content because I need my good friend to drop some of this great knowledge he's been giving me, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're gonna talk about chain weight, or we already talked about chain weight. Let's talk about condition weight. Now, condition weight. A good brother, Rocky Kennels, really gave a good interpretation of how to find the condition weight, and y'all need to go check his channel out for that. I'm not gonna steal his thunder because he did a great job of articulating that. But a condition weight is the weight of a dog conditioned for its performance, whatever that performance may be. Now, what I like about a condition weight is I want to see at what weight my dog has the most pull when I'm doing like pulling work with him or like muscular work with him, but I also want to see like at what weight his jaws close the best at. Like that is my condition weight. Like what weight does my dog optimally perform all the tasks I want it to perform at, right? Typically your condition weight has a look to it. That look is going to be, more streamlined. The rears could be slightly showing, slight backbone can be showing. There should be no hip bone showing in the back. The tail should be as narrow as it's going to be. You should basically be reducing the fat content of your animal. That is a conditioned weight. And the final term we're going to cover today, y'all, is going to be a keep. Now, for a keep, there are several portions to a keep. And if I'm articulating this wrong, please, please, please do not let me give out bad information and keep that bad information out there. The way I understand a keep is this. The keep is based upon parts. You have a pre-keep where you get the animal ready. This is where your husbandry, your medicine, and you get everything ready, like the walking it on whatever kind of surface it's going to be on. Typically, these pre-keeps are from 2 to 4 weeks. You're going to be toughening the pads, and you're going to be getting the dog conditioned for the keep. Getting the dog ready for the work it's going to be doing. Getting the liver good and healthy, giving them an extra organ, building up extra stores of fat to help with the energy for the work. Then you move from the pre-keep into the keep and conditioning portion of a keep, which can be anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the level of intensity and what your animal needs. During this is where the work actually happens. This is where you start getting your hours up, clocking those hours with your animal, road work, mill work, spring pole, flirt pole, fluctuating the meals to bring weight either up or down. This is all happening during the actual conditioning keep portion, the main keep. And then you have the performance, which is its own entity. And then you have the post-keep and recovery. So you're talking about typically an entire season to get an animal ready to perform and then back to its chain weight. That to me is what a keep is. And if I'm wrong, please drop it in the comments. I do not want to deliver intentionally falsified or bad information. I only want to give out the best information because I believe that you can take that and synthesize it or analyze it as you see fit to enhance your ability to perform with your animals. So y'all, we've hit the 48-minute mark on today's show, and we've covered a lot of great topics. I really appreciate everybody who came out for this show. Thank you so much. If you're not a subscriber, please, please, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like it, share this on your social media platforms. Additionally, I am throwing a digital dog show. If you're not familiar with this or you haven't heard of it, I'm throwing a digital dog show. I did a video on Sunday to explain exactly how to get involved in the digital dog show, and I really appreciate those of y'all who've gotten involved. I need your help to make this a success. Soul Power, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really need your help to ensure this is a success. To make this a success, we need to get as many dogs involved as possible. I'm coming out of my own pocket to ensure that everybody involved will receive some hardware if they win. I appreciate that, Mike Dan. Not only will they receive hardware, but guess how you get picked? There is no judge. There is no bias. I can't go, hey, this guy's my friend, so you won. We're going to put each video up in a 30-second interval, just like we're doing right now on the live, and you can vote live in the polls about top male, top female, top dog, best puppy, best black dog, best buckskin, best brindle, best yard. Everything that we're talking about right now, every category will be selected by those of y'all who are watching and following, which means that we're going to basically set the tone for how we breed and the structure that we like. All right? That's it. Best condition is also another category in there. And we're gonna set the tone. We're gonna be the one, because we're the ones doing it. Everybody on this channel are the ones doing it. And since we're the ones doing it, we're gonna set the tone for what we like and what we don't like, and that's just what it is. The old school Dogman did the exact same thing. They had a look, they had a like, they had an attitude they liked, and I really respect that. And I just want to pay homage and honor to that by moving forward with it. I am reaching out to a lot of the older dogmen because in the future, we want to get a Piticon. I talked to some good brothers about getting maybe Tom Garner, Schoolboy, and a bunch of these other guys out to just have them available where we can get their autographs and give them their flowers and get those pictures with them, you know, because I've seen pictures of Lester Hughes, the old mountain man, and I've seen pictures of Mr. Mims, you know, and I don't have any pictures with them, and like I never get them. Good morning, OG. How you doing, big dog? Hey man, we about to get up out of here right now, elevated, but hey man, feel free to check that live once it's posted. I got mad respect for you, big dog. Mad respect. Thank you so much for the knowledge you've been able to provide and keep doing what you're doing. Also, y'all, if y'all not tracking, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Houston, there is the Top Dogs of Houston Dog Show. They will have weight pulls, confirmation. I don't know if they got any slap mill races going on, but check out the ADBA website. They have all the information that you need on the ADBA website. Salute to all of y'all who just got in the chat. We about to roll up out of here. I really appreciate y'all. This has been another Samurai Kennels Wednesday morning coffee talk. I'll holler at y'all Sunday at 7 p.m. That's when we release our weekly wrap up, and hopefully I can have some good footage for y'all from the dog show. I'll holler at y'all.